Welcome to Criminal Justice in a Nutshell. My name is John Fisher, and today's episode is Criminal Justice and the Law. Okay, there's a lot of things that we have to deal with today and look at today. The first is the different sources of law. In the United States, we get our law from a few different places. Okay, the first is the Constitution. The Constitution establishes our country. The textbook is going to tell you that we are a constitutional democracy, and we are not. If we are to listen to the Constitution and follow the Constitution requires that the United States remain a republican form of government, which means we are a republic. Not that we have to vote for the Republican Party, but that we are a republic, which is completely different than a democracy. A democracy allows for majority rule. It allows the mob to rule. And this is one of the problems that we have found with true or pure democracy across the history of the world. And that is when the mob is in charge and the mob is in control, the mob will vote for the things that they want to the detriment of the rest of the country, regardless of if that is good for the country or not. We do not want a democracy. We want a republic where the minority gets a voice. And we have the minority voice is maintained through the work of the Senate of the United States of America. The second place that we get our law is through the legislature. The Constitution establishes and creates three branches of the government. These three branches are equal, and they are to be treated as equal. The legislature makes statutes. The legislature makes laws. Okay? And a lot of times the legislature makes their laws awfully vague and incomplete. But they make the laws, for example, all states within the United States will have to reduce EPA emissions by 22% by 2017. Okay, and that's the law that they make. Everything else is left up to the executive branch. The executive branch of the government is where the president is. He is the head of the executive branch. And the executive branch also makes law. And they make law, or they make laws to dictate how the different states are going to meet that decreased emissions program by the end of 2017. So that's what's called administrative law, because an administrative agency creates the law that we're talking about. The last set of law that we're going to talk about today is court-made law. Court-made law are those things that to where the court declares something legal or illegal. They review the laws that are made by the legislature. They review the laws that are made by the executive branch, and they determine whether or not they are constitutional. Okay, so in the 70s, Roe v. Wade stated that we could not make laws against abortion because everybody has the right to choose to do with their body with what they want. Okay. In 2001, we saw a court case, Lawrence v. Texas, that made sodomy constitutional. Sodomy laws, or those laws that made sodomy illegal, were declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court in 2001, Lawrence v. Texas. Okay. The next, right now we are seeing the Supreme Court hearing cases about the Affordable Care Act and same-sex marriage. Okay, these are the different types of sources for where we get our law. You also need to understand how substantive criminal law defines crime and the legal responsibility of the accused. We have a philosophy in the United States that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. We are just that. We are innocent until proven guilty. And in order to prove us guilty of a crime, the jury has to find us guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Sorry, excuse me. Okay, and there are two categories. Well, criminal law can be found in the penal code. But there's two types of crime. There's two types of criminal activity. There's mele in se and mele prohibita. These are both Latin terms. I bet you didn't think you'd learn Latin this week. But mele in se means evil within itself. You don't really need a law to say that it's illegal. You don't need a law to say that this is bad or evil. The second category of crime is mele prohibita. And mele prohibita means or establishes, sets up and says that there is something that's illegal because there's a law that makes it illegal. Otherwise it wouldn't be. For example, smoking marijuana. This is a big deal right now. Colorado has approved recreational marijuana use. Okay, that's the law that they created. That's what they wanted to do. Excuse me. So just because there's a law against it is what makes it illegal. You do away with the particular law, it becomes legal again. There is no action within any behavior that human beings can do that is wrong or illegal unless there is a law that says so. Okay. We have different classifications or grading of crimes between felony and misdemeanor. Misdemeanor offenses are less serious offenses and can be punished by up to a year in jail. Felonies are more serious offenses. And can be punished by over a year in jail up to life imprisonment. Here in Texas, we also have the death penalty. Okay, so you have Class A, B, and C misdemeanors. Class A being the worst. Then you have first, second, third degree felonies and a state jail felony. The first degree being the worst. Okay, and what we want here, and we alluded to it a little bit a couple of minutes ago, but the primary goal, the primary desire, the primary want for the criminal justice system is to ensure due process. Due process is vitally important to ensure that the innocent people go free and the bad guys go to prison. There's a philosophy within due process that says it would be better for 1,000 people to be set free than for one innocent man to go to prison. Okay, and this is a due process model. It's intended to protect our rights from others. Okay, that is criminal justice and the law. I do want to thank you for joining us in Criminal Justice in a Nutshell. My name is John Fisher, and I will see you again.